Good morning. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to First Church here in New York City. I want to give a special shout out to all of you joining us on Zoom right now. I know that the board is filling there'll be well over 100 people joining us today and another several hundred watching this very broadcast in the hours to come. So welcome to First Church. Today we're going to be talking about faith's first light, the subject of faith as presented by Ernest Holmes. So welcome to our hybrid community, to those of us here in the audience and all of you listening on Zoom and Facebook and our YouTube channel and other places as well. So we're going to start by going into an age-old idea, the idea of faith with a fresh perspective. I have a poem for you to start. It's entitled Faith's First Light. In the quiet of dawn before the world awakes, where dreams meld with morning and night's shadow breaks, there's a whisper of hope, a resilient song, a chorus of faith where all dreams belong. From the heart of the cosmos to the depth of the seas, faith's tendrils weave patterns, connecting you and me. It's the ember that glows when the night's at its coldest, the fireflies dance, the starlight that's boldest. In the face of what's unknown, when our path's unclear, it's the hand that we hold, the voice that is in our ear. Faith is the bridge between wonder and reason, the promise of sun after the rainiest season. As we begin with hearts open and wide, let faith be our compass, our beacon, our guide. So we start our morning, and let's draw now on Ernest Holmes' teaching on belief and faith. Let his words illuminate our path. We teach religious science. We are a New Thought Center. Ernest Holmes culminated the best of the best and put it together for us in the textbook. He inspired Louise, and countless others. So, drawing on Ernest Holmes, let's illuminate his ideas. Let's challenge our preconceived notions and let's embark on this journey of realization, knowing that we have the power to do this. Ernest Holmes said there's power for us to use. And as you all know, he said it's greater than we are. And he said, but we're a part of it. And that comment puzzled me for a number of years. A power for good in the universe. There's one power, not two powers, but one power in the universe, greater than me, that I can use. And then we come into the understanding that this power is in everything and everyone. So it's an infinite power that's in all things, all people, and everywhere. And we can use it. We use it constructively. You hear us talk week after week with our consciousness. If our consciousness is aligned with it, with joy, peace, love, harmony, and beauty, and ideas of God, we will be using our power to do great things. When we're out of alignment, life still responds to us, though it will not bring us the things that we wish for. So Ernest Holmes was wonderful to bring his profound wisdom. He elucidated and spoke a lot on the idea that there's one spirit that cradles every nuance, he said, of existence. One spirit that cradles everything. There's not a spot where it isn't. It was told to me years ago, it's a presence. It's never an absence. And Holmes said, I believe in a spirit, a living, all-powerful presence. I believe in a spirit, a living, all-powerful presence. Consider for a moment the gravity of that statement. I believe in a spirit, a living, all-powerful presence. What if in every fleeting moment, in every breath, we're connected to an omnipotent source? What if we realize that we're connected to this source every moment? But so what does this mean to us on a day-to-day basis in our lives? I mean, it's one thing for us to know it here on Sundays, that we're one with this power, that we have power at our disposal. But what does it mean for us in our day-to-day living? Our challenge always is to remember this connection, right? And to come from this connection. Have you ever stopped anywhere, picture a busy day where there's all kinds of things going on in the street or wherever you are? Have you ever closed your eyes, or you can imagine yourself closing your eyes and feel the world move around you and felt the rhythm of life, the pulse of existence? If you did, you'd have this glimpse of our connection to this eternal force. And it's both humbling and empowering to realize in the midst of everything, you're connected to it, this source, this power, this life-giving energy that animates everything. Deep at the center of your being, you have this connection to it. And it responds to you. It's what it does. Every thought you think, life responds to. And with that, our teaching really is clear. We're responsible for our thinking. And we have a lot of random thoughts. And as we come in together in our teaching, we do our meditations, we learn how to do affirmative prayer, we do affirmations. We learn to take a pause, and take a pause to realize that I am as the universe created me, in the light, in the love, and the glory. We wake up and we realize that you are a thinking entity within the heart of God. You are a point of awareness within the mind of God. So we wake up and knowing you're the whole bit. And this might sound like a lot to someone if you're new on the call, and I just would ask you to stay with us, let it wash over you, because we're going to remind you every week that, God doesn't make junk, that you're a part of this wonderful thing called life, and that you are much greater than you have allowed yourself to be. Deep within the center of your being, there's an infinite well of love and light and possibility, and that life is here for you, and it's here to respond to you. So as you come together in our gatherings, Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday, we're going to fan the flame, that little voice within you that knows that you're wonderful, and we will keep fanning that flame as long as you stay with us and help you become more empowered, bring you to a point of greater self-realization, a point of truth, where you'll have the willingness to drop the stories that are ridiculous, the stories that you are less than wonderful. Louise has a tremendous help on in our Thursday classes, because directly we approach the subject of deservability, where you come to the idea of realizing I love, accept, and approve of myself, and I deserve a wonderful, wonderful, love-filled life. So we start today with this commitment to connect with one another and to listen. And you can re-listen to any of these lessons on YouTube or Facebook, and just keep bathing yourself in these reminders of how wonderful you are, how you're important, what you're here to do and express is important, and how you're just very, very valuable in the scheme of things in ways you probably have never thought. I have a little story time next. Have to add a little humor to this. There's a story about a monk named Thich Quang Duc, like D-U-C, not quite Duck Duc. And it's a true story. In 1963, in a protest against persecution of Buddhists, he lit himself on fire and remained in meditation until his very last breath. I know that's kind of a sobering thought. Well, this is a really poignant example. It brings home a point of how deep a connection and a faith can be. It tells us that life isn't just a mere series of accidents, but a beautifully orchestrated symphony. And speaking of symphonies, I have another short story. This one is true as well. Despite his hearing loss, it was Beethoven, right? Beethoven, I'm sure many of you know, could not hear, right? So despite his hearing loss, he composed some of the most beautiful pieces of music the world has ever experienced. How could somebody who could not hear compose some of the most beautiful music the world has ever known? He did it because he believed he could. He had the faith. Beethoven felt the music within him, if you can imagine. Not necessarily with his ears, but within his soul. The concept of heaven on earth isn't about waiting for an afterlife. I mean, that's what I was taught when I was a kid, that we would get our rewards later, much later. And we were taught to, offer it up all these tough times, because we would surely be rewarded afterwards. So we look at it a different way here. The concept of heaven on earth is not about waiting for an afterlife. It's not about medicine, and it's not about somebody up above watching out for you and keeping a scorecard about what you've done right or what you've done wrong. The concept of heaven on earth is about living in the moment, being good in the moment, thinking good thoughts in the moment, being self-loving, loving yourself more and more, extending the love that you have within towards others. Heaven on earth is about realizing the beauty and the joy that's present now. It's here. It's in you, right here. And you might wonder, how do we access this heaven? And the answer is simple, and it's profound. You access this heaven within, through your own consciousness. Louise Hay wrote the piece, "Deep at the Center of Your Being is an Infinite Well of Love." And it's true. You know, everyone in this world has at their core this inner light. It animates every one of us. And we have tremendous wisdom and power that will answer us and respond to us. It responds to us endlessly. Each of us are absolutely a being of light, and we're a being of wonder. Each of you are a bearer of light, or a light bearer. And you might say, who, me? I've just done all these terrible things, and I'm constantly negative. And that might be true, but the greater truth is that you are a bearer of light, deep at the center of your being. You are connected to this universal energy, this love, and you are here to learn how to express it and how to grow and how to evolve and to be a lifter, to lift yourself up, to lift other people up. So you are a light bearer, and you certainly have the potential to become one. This is ultimately our purpose. It's to unite with Source and realize that it's within us, and learn to express our love and our loving in any way that we can. Everyone's going to have a unique way of expressing life, a unique way of loving and appreciating. Part of the things we do in our classes is we realize, we come to know through our meditations and our affirmations who we have come here to be. Now I want to add a little humor. I don't know if this one is as good, but there's a little humorous tale to lighten the mood. Why did the meditating monk refuse anesthesia when he went to the dentist? And the answer is because he wanted to transcend dental medication. And I know that was corny, but I thought, oh well, I'll include it. On a little bit more serious note, this jest highlights the power of the mind and consciousness. Ernest Holmes' teaching on personal freedom resonates now more than it ever did at any time before in this digital age, amidst the chaos of instant messages, notifications, breaking news, catastrophes, and the constant communication, and now artificial intelligence everywhere. Our true freedom lies in disconnecting, taking digital detoxes, slowing down, taking a pause, and diving deep within. It's about finding solace and freedom in silence and communing with the one that is within you. That's really where all the action is anyway. Those of us have always known it, who have been in the teaching, really in the teaching. We do our work in mind. When we say we do our work in mind, that's what we're really talking about. That's where all our power is. It's not there on the outside. It's always within. Some of you might remember the story of Don Quixote by Cervantes. I believe I remember the movie, watching it. I know I read the book. Don Quixote was a character that was roaming through the countryside, and he was attacking windmills because he thought they were giants. And I'm reminded of that story whenever I'm approaching this subject, because it's like thinking a shadow in your room is a monster when it's really just a coat hanging on your chair. Don Quixote spent so much energy fighting things that weren't real. All these things that he talked about, fought in his travels and his stories, were not real. Now, I want you to think about your life today. Sometimes we worry about things, like we're like obsessed about things that just aren't really big deals. We're obsessed about what people are doing or what they're thinking, or we're focused on problems that are not really there. So my generation would say we're tripping. That's people my age. You're tripping. It means like you're letting it use up so much energy within you. Or you're talking about other people or what they're doing and perceived threats. So that's that whole Don Quixote thing. And we're fighting things in our imagination. Sometimes things are real. People do things. But then we give so much power to them. So we might be like Don Quixote, fighting the windmills, using up our time, our precious time, and our precious energy. I remember so well a friend of mine years ago, who said, life is not a dress rehearsal. Why are you spending so much time with this or being worried about this? So instead of getting worked up over imaginary problems or getting overly concerned about actual problems, what if we spent more of our time looking at the beautiful things around us? We talk a lot about gratitude here, being grateful for the health that we do have, the people that we do have that love us. So we focus a lot on the things that we don't have, and it would be far more helpful for us to focus on what we do have, right? Focusing on new things and being in new moments. New moments are such beautiful things because in them you can create anything you want. What if we use our energy to make our dreams come true? You've heard me say from Louise material that we're each 100% responsible for our lives. What she's always saying in Ernest Holmes is that we create our lives by means of our thoughts and our consciousness, our beliefs. So this isn't a statement about who's right or wrong or bad or good, and it's certainly not about guilt or shame. It's simply life reflects us. In truth, there's nothing outside of us. So we look at our life, and it's a reflection of what lives inside of us. So let's ask ourselves, are we spending too much time fighting the imaginary? Are we spending too much time fighting windmills like Don Quixote? Or are we using our strength and our belief in ourselves to do something wonderful? I hope you're considering, if you come and spend time with us as you do, that you want to use your strength to create something wonderful, because you can. You have the ability. Deep within you is the ability to do anything, to heal, to prosper, to thrive. So let's make sure we're putting our energy always in the right place. You might be focused on what other people have done or have done to you recently. I've had some of those experiences myself. But as soon as you notice that you're focusing on what others have done or done to you, you want to bring yourself back to realize that deep at the center of your being is an infinite well of love. And what other people say or what they do in the final analysis doesn't matter. Your life is about you and your creations, and you can create something wonderful. You could be focused about what other people are doing, but they have their own, as we say, crosses to bear. They have their own things that they need to learn. And as it was a famous minister, Reverend Reich, he said, you can't lose with the stuff we use. So bring your focus back to yourself. Your life is about you. Metaphysically, remember, I've said it often to you before, in truth, there's nothing outside of you. Life is really such a beautiful thing, and it's a banquet, or it certainly can be for anyone on this call, So I know you want this better life, this bigger life, and it's yours to be had. The question is, why do we allow ourselves to be programmed with so much small stuff that has no meaning, or chase these windmills? Why do we spend time on things that just don't matter, or be involved in a bunch of negative discussions? Recently, I've spoke about the image of the three monkeys. You've heard me talk about them 2 or 3 times before. And you'll see the image. Their eyes are covered, their ears are covered. It's hear no evil, don't be a part of it, don't see it, don't speak it. That's really the essence of religious science in a way. If you're able to redirect your thinking and what you're hearing, if you're able to do that, you're actually practicing the teaching. You're here to be about Spirit's business, Father's business. You really don't have time for that stuff. If you consider how fleeting and wondrous and beautiful life is, I hope all of you come to a point where you just want to release the nonsense, meaning that you come to a point where you have no desire to partake in it. There is the realization that life is so precious. Once you wake up in this teaching, you just wake up and you realize everything. Every conversation you're having with another person, it's spirit to spirit. So namaste, you said to yourself, the part of me that's alive and divine and connected is seeing that in you. Every conversation is like that. Every encounter is a holy encounter. When you view your life from this place of connection, you're able to see that everything you're looking at is an outpicturing of Spirit everywhere. I want to challenge everybody today to commit themselves to contemplate and think about great thoughts and think about how great thou art. It's an old song we used to sing. And realize that you are one with the one. You are an individualization of this love, this power, and you're here to do great things. You're here to have a great life. How many of us here can truly say that they've experienced a moment of pure beauty and silence recently? And if you haven't, then I want to say, then it's maybe time to take some time out to have that, where you can have a moment of beauty and pure silence. A moment that's without external chatter. If you do that more often, you take that pause, you're going to have some personal revelations, and you're going to have some aha moments. The universe is always attempting to woo you, Emerson suggested. It's attempting to get your attention if you'll only quiet yourself down a little bit. As you practice doing affirmative living, affirmations, affirmative prayer, you take them deep within you and embody them, you're going to have some transformative experiences. And that's natural. They're serendipitous in a way, occurrences, but they happen because you're communing with Spirit and you're having positive, you're developing positive expectancy. You might remember the story of Sir Isaac Newton. He's the guy with the apple. Remember, the apple fell and gravity was discovered with Newton. But gravity was always there, as we all know. Newton's revelation was a culmination of observation, contemplation, and a deep inner reflection. Ernest Holmes' take on spiritual healing is not about Band-Aids put on wounds. Holmes had amazing consciousness. It's about transformative healing, where your very being evolves. All of you on this call, the more you take in this information, are evolving. You're learning to transcend the small stuff and realize that you are a wondrous being of light. You're evolving. We're like the phoenix rising out of the ashes of what has been in our lives, and we're becoming reborn and rejuvenated. And everything we've been through has brought us to a higher place. Faith is a small word, but it holds the universe within it. From ancient scriptures to the modern musings of philosophers and poets, faith stands firm as a beacon of hope, trust, and belief. St. Augustine said many years ago, faith is to believe what you do not see. The reward of this faith is to see what you believe. It's well into the 2020s now, and everybody's talking about superpowers because they're all being streamed on every channel on television. And speaking of superpowers, the superpower that each of us possess is faith. If we use it, we have the superpower. Ernest Holmes emphasized 3 pillars. You've heard them before. Omniscience, which means that you have infinite awareness. Omnipresence, which means this energy is everywhere available. So we have this infinite intelligence and this infinite awareness. And omnipotence, meaning there's absolute power. So you have all of this within you, power and wisdom. All of it resides within you. In today's context, you could think of this as Wi-Fi signals. Always present, always powerful, connecting us to the infinite. You are always powerful, always connected to the infinite. You have everything you need. You are the whole bit. And on a little bit of a lighter note, I'm full of jokes today. Why did the yogi refuse to leave the Himalayas? And the answer is because he couldn't find any mountaintop to download. So I'll go back to Holmes. I'm in safer territory. Ernest Holmes' text on faith is nothing short of a treasure trove. It's really beautiful. And as we break it down, we'll break all his words down, his ideas, we realize that our fears are merely shadows. It's just like Don Quixote with the windmills. Our fears are shadows. It's like being afraid of the dark. Once we switch on the light of our awareness and faith, the shadows just disappear. As we wrap it up today, let's embrace faith with open arms. Let's welcome change. We have faith in life. We trust the process of life. Let's nurture our faith and let it guide us. Let Spirit guide the way. Let us laugh at our fears and dance with our dreams and journey into the unknown together with faith always as our guiding star. And as we wind down today and get ready to hear from one another, which we all love so much, let's remember we are all part of this magnificent cosmic dance. All of us are interconnected, intertwined, and all is well. We're all blessed. So as we go through the vast expanse of existence, we know that faith is our rhythm and hope is our song. I'll end with this. In the tapestry of time, woven so fine, each thread is a tale, yours and mine. Through the valleys of the shadow and the peaks that gleam so high, with faith as our guide, we are learning to fly. For every stumble and tear that may fall, faith, the power within you whispers, rise, answering your heart's call. With every challenge, every uphill climb, faith is the echo reminding you, you're prime, you're the whole bit. The dance may end, the song may wane, but with faith within you, with faith at your side, we dance through the rain. As the stars twinkle above, our spirits ignite. In the heart of faith, we find our true light. So let's, everybody today, open our minds. Let's let the discussions begin with faith as our anchor. There's a lot to win. Thank you all. We are all immensely blessed. It's wonderful to have you all with us. Let's get into our discussion where we hear every voice, hopefully, and we're glad you're all with us. And so it is for today. Thank you.